My beloved sisters and brothers, my kin in spirit and hope, I greet you today not with shallow pleasantries, but with the trembling weight of truth. Let us gather our hearts, unclench our fists, and open the shutters of our minds to the light. For I have something not merely to say but to share, something that has been pressed upon my soul as surely as breath rides the morning air. If you go alone, you will fall. That is no threat. That is no judgment. That is not the cry of the fearful nor the warning of the timid. That is the voice of life speaking, ancient and clear, carved into the bones of humanity and whispered by the wind. You will fall if you go alone. But walk with God, walk with purpose, walk with truth every day. And though the terrain may rise like a mountain and fall like a grave, you will not be forsaken. You will not be crushed. We live in a time where the illusion of self-sufficiency is sold, like fine perfume, expensive, intoxicating, and ultimately false. We are told to pull ourselves up, though no one dares explain how a soul with no shoes or strength is to accomplish such a feat. We are told to march alone, to stand alone, to conquer alone, as though solitude were strength. And while solitude can be sacred, isolation can be deadly. You see, walking alone through the wilds of life may appear brave, but that is the path of the foolhardy, not the courageous. For the weight of the world, this heavy howling world, cannot be carried on two trembling shoulders. The soul was not fashioned for lone survival, but for divine companionship. The spirit cries not for independence but for interdependence on each other, yes, but first and foremost, on the one who made us, who sees us, who walks beside us even when we think we are unworthy of company. Many of you are strong, I do not doubt that. You have accomplished things that the world applauds. Your resumes sparkle like constellations, your homes are filled with what the world calls success, and your voices are sharp with the power of conviction. But I must tell you, strength without source is a crumbling tower. A river without its source soon dries into memory. You may not stumble today. You may not fall tomorrow, but the days will come when your legs give out, and no degree, no title, no eloquence will hold you upright. And what then? Who will catch you, if not the one who knows every hair on your head, every beat of your tired heart? Now let me speak plainly, for these are not words for the poet's pen alone. These are truths carved from the scars of the living. I have seen good people fall. I have watched ambition become addiction. I have watched independence morph into loneliness, so thick it choked the voice from their throats. I have seen leaders, mighty in stature and feared in boardrooms, weep like children in the stillness of their despair. Not because they were weak, no, but because they believed the lie that they had to carry it all alone. And if the truth be told, some of you listening now, some of you dressed in fine suits or draped in silks of success, some of you are silently crumbling beneath the pressure. Your smiles are masks, your calendars are distractions, and your prayers, if you still pray, are whispers too faint to hear. But hear me now, there is no shame in needing. There is no weakness in walking with God. There is only wisdom. There is power. There is peace. Do not mistake pride for power. Do not mistake noise for presence. Walk with God, not as a symbol, not as a side note, not as something you fit in between emails and errands, but as your companion, your confidant, your cornerstone. Walk with God when the sun is shining, and you feel invincible, and walk with Him when the night is so dark you cannot see your own hands. Walk with God when people praise your name, and walk with Him when they curse it. Walk with Him when the world is kind, and walk with Him when it is cruel. For He does not change, He does not abandon, and most of all, He does not tire. We are each of us, travelers in this strange journey of life. Some of us are just beginning, starry-eyed and eager. Some are weary from the miles behind. But all of us will reach a moment, a season, a second, when we come to the end of ourselves. And at that end, the hands we reach for will not be human. They will be holy. At that end, what will matter is not how loudly we spoke, or how many followers we had, or how fast we ran, but whether we walked in step with the one who knew the way all along. The great temptation of this age is to be visible, to be viral, to be victorious. But beloved, what is visibility without vision? What is virality without virtue? What is victory without value? You can gain the whole world, yes, but lose your soul in the process, and the soul does not recover from abandonment easily. That's why you must tend to it now, before the fire becomes smoke, before the light flickers and fades. Some of you may ask, how do I walk with God? What does it mean in the midst of deadlines and disappointments, in the chaos of parenting and policy making, in the shadow of grief or the glare of ambition? It means making room. It means pausing, not just once a week, but every single day. It means starting your morning, not with the blare of the phone, but with the whisper of prayer. It means asking not only what do I want, but what is right. It means listening when the world screams, and seeking stillness in the whirlwind. It means humility, not the kind that slouches, but the kind that stands tall in reverence. Walking with God means admitting, with courage and clarity, I cannot do this alone, and I don't have to. And let me say this with tenderness, if you've been walking alone for years, it is not too late. God does not check credentials at the door. He does not require spotless records. He does not wait for you to be perfect. He waits for you to be present. You need not come with eloquence or offerings. Just come. Come with your bruises and your questions. Come with your anger and your ache. Come weary. Come wild. But come and walk. One step, one breath, one prayer at a time. That is enough. I have known sorrow. I have stood in rooms where silence was thick with grief. I have buried dreams and eulogized hope. And still I say, walk with God. Not because it erases pain, but because it redeems it. Walk with God not because it guarantees ease, but because it guarantees presence. And presence, beloved, is the balm of all wounds. When God walks with you, you do not walk through fire alone. When He walks with you, your enemies cannot consume you. When He walks with you, you may be bruised, but you will not be broken. You may be bent, but you will not be buried. So let the world marvel at your calm. Let them wonder how you keep your head high while the storm rages. Let them ask how you endure when others retreat. And tell them the truth that this world forgets. I do not walk alone. I walk with God. And if they mock, smile. If they question, speak gently. For the world will one day tire of its idols. Its noise will turn to silence. And in that quiet, it will remember what you already know, that strength comes not from solitude but from surrender. And the strongest among us are those who walk not in front, not behind, but beside the one who leads without pushing, who guides without guile. To those of you who are tired, rest, but do not retreat. To those who are afraid, remember that fear does not mean you are lost, it means you are human. And to those who are proud, let your pride be in the one who carries you. For you will fall, yes, if you go alone, but with God, you will rise, again, and again, and again. And when your days are long, and your nights unkind, when your questions remain unanswered, and your prayers seem unanswered too, keep walking. For faith is not proven in the sunshine. Faith is proven in the dark, when your hands tremble but still reach forward, when your eyes blur with tears, but still look up. Keep walking. He walks with you. He always has. And that, beloved, is more than enough. So take my hand, or take your neighbor's, but most of all, take his. Do not waver. Do not wander in circles trying to find your way when the way walks beside you. With every breath, with every choice, say, I will not go alone. I will walk with God. And you will find, as I have found, that the journey may not be easier, but it will be holy. And holiness, true holiness, is worth everything. Now go, not alone, but with courage, with grace, with purpose. And most of all, with God. So we stand here, each of us bearing the weight of our own seasons, some basking in the summer of triumph, others shivering in the winter of despair, and yet the truth stretches across all our seasons, like the sky itself. We are not made to navigate this life alone. Independence, when worshipped as an idol, becomes isolation. And I will not lie to you, this world has mastered the art of separation. It lures us with sweet nothings. Chase the dream alone, rise to the top alone, build your empire alone, and when you get there, the applause will be deafening. But what the world does not tell you is that applause fades, and when it does, the silence left behind is a sound few know how to bear. To walk with God is not to forfeit ambition, it is to anchor it. It is to remember that our worth was never tied to our productivity, that our identity was never meant to be worn like armor, protecting us from the truth of our own vulnerability. Let us be bold enough to admit it. Some of the most dangerous decisions we've ever made were made alone. Some of the deepest wounds we carry were inflicted when we thought we knew best. There are nights that echo with the consequences of isolation, and mornings that begin with regret too heavy to carry unaided. And yet when we look back, we can almost hear the quiet knock at the door of our hearts, the invitation that was always there. Come walk with me, not because we were holy, but because we were hurting. Not because we had wisdom, but because we needed it. That is the miracle of walking with God. He does not wait for the cleaned-up version of you. He walks right into the mess, into the chaos, into the half-written chapters, and the unresolved endings, and says, "Let's go, I'll carry what you can't." The human heart, no matter how brilliant, no matter how disciplined, was not made to be a compass unto itself. We crave direction. We ache for meaning, and though we may pretend otherwise, there is a part of each of us that knows instinctively when we are lost. We may not say it out loud, but we feel it when sleep does not bring rest, when our success feels hollow, when our relationships crumble beneath the weight of our egos. That is the moment we must choose. Will we keep wandering, guided by the illusion of control, or will we turn and take the hand that has never let go of us, even when we ran? Do not think for a moment that walking with God is a passive act. No, it is the most radical decision you will ever make. It is not a walk of ease, it is a walk of courage. Because to walk with God means choosing forgiveness over vengeance. It means choosing love over judgment. It means choosing truth when lies would be easier, and humility when pride offers you a throne. It is not always the path of applause, but it is always the path of peace. The world will not always understand you when you walk this way. They may call you weak for leaning on something greater than yourself. They may call you naive for believing in what cannot be seen. But let them talk. Let them point. For what they do not know is that your strength is not fragile. It is fortified. Your peace is not temporary. It is anchored. I have seen lives transformed not by strategies but by surrender. I have seen people rise from despair not because the storm ended, but because they found someone to walk with them through it. The greatest breakthroughs are not always loud. Sometimes they come in the quiet decision to begin again, to take one more step, to whisper one more prayer, even when hope feels faint. And that is the beauty of walking with God. He does not rush you. He does not shame your pace. He matches your stride, whether you are limping from heartbreak or sprinting in joy. His presence is not conditioned on your perfection. It is anchored in His promise. We are living in days when everything is instant. Messages, meals, opinions. But there is no instant version of wisdom. There is no shortcut to peace. There is no app for endurance. These things are forged in the fire, built step by step, word by word, moment by moment, as we walk the long road with God. And let me be clear, it is a long road. It is not paved with ease. You will still face loss. You will still face betrayal. You will still face confusion. But you will not face them alone. And that makes all the difference. Now I speak to those who lead. Whether you lead a company, a classroom, a congregation, or a home, you carry more than most will ever know. People look to you for answers, for stability, for hope. But I ask you, who do you look to? Who steadies you when your hands tremble? Who lifts you when you fall? For even leaders grow weary, even warriors bleed. Walk with God, not just in the spotlight but behind closed doors, not just in your public prayers but in your private thoughts. For if your soul is not nourished, your leadership will become a mask, and masks crack. Your influence will not sustain you, your performance will not save you, but His presence will, daily, faithfully, without fail. And to the students, the dreamers, the ones still searching for your place in this chaotic world, I see you. I know the pressure you face, the expectations piled on you like bricks. I know what it is to question everything, your worth, your path, your voice. You live in a world that says you must be everything: smart, attractive, outspoken, invincible. But let me tell you something that no algorithm will teach you. You are already enough, not because of your grades or your achievements, but because of who walks beside you. You are not lost just because you don't have it all figured out. God does not wait for you to find your path. He is the path. Invite Him in, not when you've arrived, but now, while you're still becoming. And to those whose hearts are aching, whose prayers feel unanswered, who've walked through the valley and found no mountaintop yet, I won't offer you cliches. I won't tell you that everything happens for a reason, or that time will heal all wounds. But I will tell you this: when you walk with God, even your tears are seen, even your silence is heard, even your brokenness is sacred. The valley may not vanish, but you will not vanish in it. His hand will find yours in the dark, and sometimes, beloved, that is the miracle. So what does this look like, this walking with God? It looks like compassion when the world is cruel. It looks like integrity when compromise is easier. It looks like gratitude when abundance feels far away. It looks like stillness in the noise and conviction in the chaos. It is not flashy. It will not always be praised, but it will endure. And in a world addicted to the temporary, the enduring is what we most need. You will still be you. Your gifts will still shine. Your voice will still rise. But now they will be rooted. Now they will not waver in the wind of opinion. You will be free, not from struggle, but from the tyranny of self. Free to serve without needing applause. Free to rest without guilt. Free to grow without fear. For when you walk with God, you are no longer driven by scarcity, but guided by sufficiency. And when the day comes that your breath slows and your hands grow still, when the titles are meaningless and the trophies are dust, what will matter most is not how far you walked, but with whom. And if you have walked with God, if you have let Him guide your steps, if you have trusted Him with your flaws, then you will have lived fully, even in broken places. You will have loved deeply even in loss, and you will have left behind more than memories. You will have left light. So I call on you, not with fear but with faith. Do not go alone, not in your work, not in your relationships, not in your struggles or your success. Invite God into every space. Make room for Him, where the world says there is no room left. Walk with Him, not as a ritual, but as a relationship, not as a backup plan, but as your blueprint. And let that walk redefine everything. Let it reshape your goals. Let it refine your character. Let it rebuke your pride and restore your hope. Let it open your hands to give, even when you've been taken from. Let it teach you joy, not the cheap kind that fades with circumstances, but the kind that dances in the dark. Let it quiet your fears, strengthen your spine, and soften your heart. For when you walk with God, nothing is wasted, not the pain, not the detours, not even the silence. And so, my beloved, walk on, step by trembling step, walk on. Carry your scars, but walk on. Bless the ground beneath your feet with each act of faith. Whisper your prayers like seeds, and watch what grows. Do not measure your walk by distance or speed. Measure it by devotion. Measure it by presence. For you will fall if you go alone. But with God, even your stumbles become sacred. Keep walking, and let the journey make you whole. I want to speak now to the part of you that has grown tired of beginnings. The part that has started over more times than you care to count. The part that whispers late at night, will it ever change? Will it ever get easier? That question, beloved, does not make you faithless. It makes you human. The struggle to hope after disappointment, to believe after betrayal, to trust again after being let down, is a holy struggle. It is the kind of wrestling that transforms. And in that place where your strength has run dry, that is where God's strength begins to rise. For walking with God does not mean the road is always new. Sometimes it means learning how to walk the same road differently, no longer driven by fear or ego, but guided by grace. Some of you have been carrying burdens so long you've forgotten what it feels like to walk upright. You've adjusted to the weight. You've normalized the ache. But that is not how you were meant to live. Lay it down. Not because it isn't heavy, but because it was never yours to carry alone. There is a sacred humility in admitting we cannot make it on our own, and there is a sacred power in knowing we do not have to. So many of us have been taught to be our own saviors. We mask our wounds with accomplishments. We cover our insecurities with noise. We chase applause to fill the silence we fear. But there comes a moment when all of it, every title, every possession, every affirmation, fails to reach the deep place inside that just wants to be held. That place can only be met by God. And the beautiful, terrifying thing is this: He is willing to meet us there. But we must slow down long enough to let Him. We must stop running from ourselves. Stop numbing our pain with distraction. Stop pretending we're fine when we are not. We must be still, not because we are weak, but because stillness is the beginning of strength. Some of the most profound moments in my life didn't happen on stages, or in celebration, or under the bright lights of success. They happened in the quiet. They happened in rooms no one else saw. They happened when I was on my knees, not knowing what would come next, only knowing that I could not face it alone. That is the truth I offer you, not polished, not perfect, but powerful. There will be days when your best isn't enough. There will be moments when the world around you spins so fast you lose your footing, and in those moments, it will not be your skill, your willpower, or your plans that save you. It will be the presence of God. Not loud, not forceful, but steady, gentle, enough. Some of you have walked with God before, but somewhere along the way, the walk became a wander. Life got loud, pain got heavy, doubt crept in like water through the cracks, and slowly, without even meaning to, you stopped reaching out. You stopped seeking. You still believed, maybe, but belief became something silent. And let me say to you gently, return. Come back, not with shame, but with honesty. You have not drifted too far. You are not too far gone. There is no path so crooked that God cannot walk with you on it. Return, not because you have something to prove, but because you have everything to gain. This walk is not about rules. It is not about performance. It is about relationship, about presence, about breath, meeting breath, and truth, meeting truth. And to those who are thriving now, those whose tables are full, whose plans are working, whose hearts feel light, yes, walk with God in joy too. Don't wait for disaster to draw near. Let Him shape your abundance with gratitude. Let Him anchor your success with humility, because every good gift is sweeter when you know the giver. Don't walk with God only in storms. Walk with Him in the sun. Let your victories be laced with reverence. Let your celebrations echo with grace. Let your laughter be rooted in the knowledge that joy is sacred, not just spontaneous. For it is easy to forget God when we feel full. But oh, how dangerous that forgetfulness becomes. Prosperity without presence leads to pride. And pride, quiet, subtle, smiling pride, is a companion that leads only to downfall. Now let me turn my eyes toward the future, not in fear but in faith. We are walking into days of great uncertainty. The world is shifting. Institutions we once trusted are crumbling. Ideas we once believed to be firm are proving fragile. There are wars being fought in boardrooms, in bedrooms, in the battlefield of the mind, and in this storm of shifting sand. What will hold us? What will steady our steps? What will give us courage when headlines steal our hope? It will not be cleverness. It will not be charisma. It will be our walk, our daily ordinary, holy walk with God. This is not a call to hide. It is not a call to wait until the world makes sense. It is a call to rise now, to walk now, to bring peace into chaos, to bring light into shadows, to live as those who are never alone. Because walking with God is not merely for personal comfort, it is for public witness. When you walk with Him, you carry His presence into every room, into every conversation, into every conflict. And the world is watching, not for perfection, but for peace, not for performance, but for presence. They are watching to see if there is another way to live, to lead, to love. And you, walking with God, become the answer to their unspoken question. You become proof that grace is real, that hope is not foolish, that strength can be quiet, and faith can be fierce. So whether you are at the start or the end, whether you walk confidently or limp with pain, do not stop. Take the next step, and then the next. Let your life become a long obedience in the same direction. Let your soul find rhythm in the routine of grace. Let every breath become a prayer, every step a testament. You will not always feel it. You will not always see it, but trust that He walks with you just the same. For the walk is not about constant mountaintops. It is about constant presence. God's with you in the in-between, in the middle places, in the waiting, in the weary. And if you keep walking, if you keep showing up, not perfectly, but persistently, you will find that something has shifted, not always around you, but within you. And when the world comes knocking, asking how you did it, how you endured, how you stayed kind when bitterness was easier, how you stayed standing when the winds blew wild, you will say, not with arrogance but with awe, I did not walk alone. And that, beloved, will be enough. That will be everything. You see, the world may try to tell you that going it alone is brave. But let me tell you something truer. Bravery is knowing when to ask for help. Courage is inviting God into the very parts of you you're ashamed of. Strength is surrendering your need to control every outcome. There is nothing small about depending on God. It is the fiercest, freest thing you will ever do. So walk. Walk when it makes sense, and walk when it doesn't. Walk when you feel full of faith, and walk when you feel nothing at all. Just keep walking. Let your life preach what your lips cannot. Let your persistence be your prayer. Let your journey be your joy. And know deep down where no one else can reach, that you are held, that you are guided, that you are never alone. You will fall if you go alone, but with God you will rise every single time. Now go, and do not go alone. Let every room you enter be filled with peace, because you brought Him with you. Let every challenge be faced with strength, because you are not facing it solo. Let every fear meet the quiet confidence of someone who knows the truth, that no matter what comes, no matter who leaves, no matter what breaks, God walks with you. And that, my dear one, changes everything. Keep walking, keep trusting, keep rising. The path is holy, the pace is yours, and the companion is faithful, always. If you listen closely, beneath the noise of the world and the clamor of expectations, you will hear it, the steady rhythm of grace. It does not rush, it does not shout, it simply invites. Each day, each hour, each breath is a new invitation to walk in step with the one who formed you in secret and calls you beloved in public. And isn't that what we all crave? To be known and still chosen, to be seen and still held. We try to find it in places that cannot hold it, in promotions, in people, in praise. But they slip through our hands like water. Only in God do we find a love that stays, a love that does not flinch at our failure, that does not back away when our truth is exposed. And when we walk with Him daily, when we allow our lives to be shaped by His nearness, that love becomes not just something we believe in, it becomes something we embody. This walk is not for the faint-hearted, but neither is it reserved for the flawless. It is not a parade of saints marching proudly. It is a procession of the broken, the weary, the willing. Those who have tried to do it alone and found that even success without soul is a kind of death. It is the walk of those who have learned that vulnerability is not weakness, it is access. Access to healing, access to peace, access to the kind of joy that does not wait for circumstances to change before it blossoms. And as we walk, we begin to see differently. We begin to listen with more than ears. We begin to speak with more than words. Our very presence becomes a testimony, not to our perfection, but to our perseverance. There will be days when you want to turn back, days when the path seems too narrow, the climb too steep. You will be tempted to believe the lie that solitude is strength, that detachment is maturity. But I urge you, do not be seduced by those half-truths. God did not design you for isolation. Even in the garden, before sin touched the world, He said it was not good for man to be alone. That truth still echoes. We are communal beings, spiritual beings, created not only to walk with God, but to walk with one another. But you cannot walk well with others if you have not first learned to walk with God. Otherwise your love will be laced with fear. Your generosity will come with strings. Your presence will be performative. But when God is your guide, your source, your daily companion, you begin to give from a place of overflow, not obligation. You begin to love without conditions, and you begin to see yourself not as separate from the world's pain, but as an agent of its healing. And this healing, oh this healing, it is not always a dramatic, immediate transformation. Sometimes